Hey, this is Scott Williamson with Reality Visuals with another recording for my next digital scrapbook video that I'm doing here. And this time I'm going to do another one about rocks. This time I'm going to take more of a global idea of what to do. I'm going to draw like a bay area here, so we're going to jump in and see how I can do this time. And hey, let me know what you guys think and tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. So here I'm trying to pick out a few brushes. Just to try to get an idea of what I'm going to do. This is the reference photo that I'm going to be using. I don't stay really strict to this, but it's kind of my inspiration. I want to know how the rocks form, how they look, a little bit of the colors and how they stratify. Alright, this time you can see I started right off the bat with some perspective lines, which is a really good idea. I probably even need to go a little bit more in depth with this before I start doing the blocking in of the coloring. So I get the idea that I want, I get the flow of how I want the image to go. This is where like all the composition happens, actually like in this first few seconds here, and it's really important to get the flow. As you can see, like up in the upper left hand corner I have a few rocks, and I have like a little bit of rock, and then I have this bay with a little squiggle in it here. That just gives you nice flow, an S-curve flow throughout the picture. It helps your eye keep interested in what it's looking at. So here I'm blocking in the basic colors. It's kind of a sunset scene. I have the sun over on the left-hand side of the screen, and then I move right into blocking in some colors. I sampled the color off the reference photo to get the color of the ocean there, which is something that you can do to learn like what colors are what. Sometimes you'll be surprised, like the colors of those rocks are a little bit different than I would have anticipated, and they vary a little bit from layer to layer, so that was something fun to find out. Like I sampled that tan color right off the picture also, and it came out way too tan for me, so I actually ended up backing that up a little bit. So as you can see, most of my forms are already about 80% there. I probably should have taken a little bit more time and just done some basic blocking out of those forms before I started going in and trying to get the detail and the color a little bit better, but I'll try that next time and we'll see how that one goes. As you can see, I'm putting a little bit of detail over on the left, but not a whole lot, because you don't need a whole lot of detail over there. It's really important to only put the detail in where you think your audience is going to be looking. Everything else, the eye can fill in. It's really a wonderful thing. So, like I said, I should put more detail in, or blocked in my colors more clearly here. But, yeah, I guess that's why I'm doing this and why I'm learning. I did a little bit better job this time with my atmospheric separation. As you can see, the rock in between the one out there in the middle of the bay and the first rock over here by the main landmass is a lighter color, and that just shows that it's a little bit farther away. Atmospheric separation is basically you looking at the sky, but not like the sky in the up above you, but the sky in between you and an object. So the farther away the object is, the more sky there is in between you and that object, the more the light hits the particles in the air and is refracted. And so it just cuts down on your contrast, and your color of your objects take on a little bit more of the sky. So it's really easy to do in Photoshop. You just do a little bit of an overlay color of your sky and it works well. So as you can see here, I'm trying to get my main focal point to be this black splotch right here at the base of those rocks. And that's where all of my rocks are pointing to, if you notice. I wanted the attention point to be right there. You need something for the eye to focus on. So that's what we did here. And the eye is going to be drawn towards the point where the painting has the most contrast. And so I made that spot really dark. I probably should have done something a little bit better with like having a bright highlight near it, but I didn't think of that. So now I'm going into more of the detail area here. And I'm going to be working on this for a little bit, just trying to put in some highlights, trying to get the layers of the stone to stand out. And this is where I really should have looked at my reference photos a little bit more than what I did. And that's another thing I'll work on for next time. Some of you might be wondering about who I am, what I do. My name is Scott Williamson. I am a self-taught artist. I started teaching myself art a little bit over 5 years ago. And I really like graphic design and sequential art, like sequential art being things like comic books or illustrations for storybooks. I really like how art and design can communicate to people. And so I'm trying to learn how to communicate through these practice videos I'm recording here. Maybe I'll do one of my graphic design videos later, but that's not nearly as interesting as the painting ones. So I'm really trying to learn how to do like backgrounds and get my visual library up to date. And it's really important when you're doing your visual library, by the way, to use real reference photos. I tried last time to not use so many reference photos, and it didn't turn out as well as I had hoped. So, yep, that's a little bit of my journey. I did graduate from school with a media degree, but it was more in general communications and actually radio broadcasting and audio recording. But I do have a little bit of experience in video recording, so this is a lot of fun for me to do this video, to do the audio, and do the painting. It's really a collaboration of all the skills I've learned over the years. So now I'm doing the water detail. This is a brush that basically has like 3 different points in it, and you just scrub it back and forth, and it gives this nice detail to the water. It gives it kind of a little bit of a shimmer. And as you can see, I'm working in the shadows from where the sun position is, always keeping your light source in mind. I'm not always the best at that, but hey, that's why we practice. And now you go into the sky, add some more visual interest in there with some clouds. I really like clouds. I think they're kind of like nature's abstract paintings. You can find every color of the rainbow in a cloud setting, like a sunset or sunrise. So you can really just go crazy and let your imagination go. And I really like drawing clouds. And so now I'm going in with some custom brushes here and putting in some like roughness and trying to get a little more texture and detail into the rocks. The brush set I have is not anything I created. It was one of those free brush sets that you can get off of like DeviantArt is a place where I get a lot of my brush sets. So I would encourage you guys to look there if you want to find some cool stuff. And it really doesn't matter what kind of texture brush you use. There's lots of different kinds. You just whatever looks good for you with your application. And now I'm trying to add a little bit more color to it. As you can see in the reference photo, there was some green grass and some like orange lichen on the top of the mountains there. And I was trying to add that in. It got a little bit too saturated. I paint over a little bit of my details, so I'll work on that next time to try to preserve my detail a little bit more while adding the color in at the later part of the video. So yeah, now I'm going to work a little bit more on the detail of the ocean where it meets the landmass. And this is a trick that I learned from Bob Ross, who is just like a wizard with a paintbrush. I really admire that guy. Just take a little bit of white and spread it along the edge of your landmass there, and it really makes the landmass and the water pop. It gives you a great reflection of the water hanging against the land. And if I really wanted to go into it, I probably could have even done a little bit more of like waves hitting against the rocks there. That would have been cool. And here's a very important aspect of my paintings, I feel, is adding a little bit of a story. Now here's just a little bit of a ship. It's not very detailed. All as you can see is just kind of an insinuation of something that's there, but it makes the painting come alive. It gives you a story, something like that could be happening. And once again, it keeps the flow of the painting going from the upper right to the down left. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this one. I really enjoyed it. There it is. Leave comments below, and hey, we'll see you next time here on another video.